Good evening, gentlemen. How's it going? How is it going? It's Saturday night. It's just after 10 o'clock. And it's a nice, pleasant evening. So, who's in the chat tonight? Let's see. Broccoli High Kicks. That's a new one on me. Nice to hear from you, mate. Mal, Leeds, Pinball, Bernard Purcell, Danish Bacon, Chaz Brown, Tommy Koto, Bryn Roberts, Bottle Baby. Bottle Baby, hi guys. Feet up with a can of beer. Somebody said, where is he? Yeah. Feet up with a can of beer. Yes, that's a good start, isn't it? Kipax, watching UFC. We'll join you afterwards. Okay, thanks for that, mate. Yeah, nice to hear from you. Popcorn. Evening, Ed. What's on the menu tonight? Oh, better not eat any more food. Oh, the thing about getting, that big shop from Asda the other day. I mean, all that lovely food and beer. I've actually gained pounds in the past couple of days, really. Daniel Mills, evening, Ed. I'm at home with the antitis. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, mate. So sorry to hear. Get better soon. Get better soon, mate. Delayed Dave, just what the doctor ordered. A side of steady Eddie. Nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Okay, Jamie296. Jamie296. Hi, Eddie. I just got a glass of wine. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, good for you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. Stuart Marsden, nice to hear from you. David Mahoney, Hugh Jordan, Steve Luxide, Bottle Baby, Squeaky Door Out, Tom Easton, nice to hear from you. Okay, so Tom Easton, Ian UK, Keith Floyd, Rudolph Jacobs, Cats and Good Coffee, Neil Fleet, and Nomad Overseas. Even that, not sure if it's me, but video quality seems to be in potato mode. Really, 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 man. That Wi-Fi is, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. Okay, so good evening to everybody. If I've missed anybody, I'm going to pour myself a beer tonight. Well, just a Saturday Night Live, something to talk about. It's if we talk about travel, then the fact is the word coming out of Pattaya now, you must have heard it, is that it's very, very quiet there. There's hardly any tourists about because it is very, very much low season. And it's low season, and after the initial excitement when they relax the borders and all that kind of stuff, it looks like it's gone quiet now. Having said that, I actually come close to booking a flight today. I was very, very tempted, to be honest with you. For the later on this year, just put a quick Cronenberg, yeah. So this is the Steady Eddie live channel. This is my second channel, and hopefully this will be the main live channel. I know, when I'm talking about travel, it's usually the other channel, the main one, which has got a lot more subscribers. But this is the one that I'd rather be on be on the live streams with. David Kernan. Eddie the Legend is back. Pork pies later. No pork pies, but I've got all kinds of. Let me just tell you the things that, Asda. Let's get that bit out of the way with. It's kind of fun, finding out which ones they're not going to be able to deliver. They delivered. I asked for 3 frozen lasagnas. I got 2 frozen lasagnas plus a frozen spaghetti, which I didn't ask for. I got a steak and gravy pie rather than a steak and onion one. So it wasn't that bad, but one of these days they might just get it right. Danish Bacon. Eddie, is that a genuine Ralphie or Thailand market special? The second one. I thought all Scousers were supposed to wear Lacoste. I've got no fashion sense at all, mate. No fashion sense. And Nomads Overseas, no panic anyway. Can hear what it is. You, Jordan, Ed, I've been looking at flight prices for later in the year, and they're astronomical. Well, I was almost, I didn't plan it, but I thought I'll have a glance at flight prices to Bangkok for later in the year. And I thought what I'd seen was not as bad as what I'd been told. It's not brilliant. They have definitely gone up across the board, but it's not a deal breaker, really. I mean, it's more expensive. The flight that I've seen was more expensive than what it should be. But it was it's more expensive than what it should be. But even so, it's kind of doable. But I was kind of umming and ahhing about which exact date I wanted to go on. So, but this week it's quite possible I might just book a flight anyway. It's nice to have. Right now, I've got nothing in the bag. It's nice to have something in the bag. At least it'll give me something to look forward to. Pinball. I've seen vlogs showing Walking Street busy. Well, I was watching a great vlog earlier from that wonderful young man, Be More Ron, who I met out in Pattaya. He's got a girlfriend out there, and he was going through Walking Street, a really, really good street. I think actually it's his final night in Thailand. And I was watching it earlier this evening, and it was really, really entertaining. But what I did notice, he was trying to live stream from Walking Street, from the bars in Walking Street, and he kept asking doorman, places like the Candy Bar or whatever, could he bring his camera in there, his phone, and do a live stream, and they wouldn't have it. So these rules may well be starting to kick in now about, they don't like YouTubers basically in Thailand anymore. And nobody's overseas. Let's see. Okay. Tom Easton, book for the end of November, Ed. We'll have beers in Pattaya. Well, I was actually looking for beginning of November, but I'm looking at the whole picture, maybe a big winter. It probably is a little bit early now, but when I seen that flight was not as bad as what I'd expected, I was almost tempted. Let's see. Red wine, yes, that's bloody good value. Flights are only about £80 more than usual. Well, the flight that I seen was a bit more than that. It was more about 200 or 300 more than what it should be. But that's doable. That's doable. So anyway, Ricky Richards, Eva Air will start direct flights to Bangkok again soon. I think they already have, haven't they? I mean, people are booking them. I was looking at it earlier. Tom Easton, 560 from Dublin, 30th of November. Well, 30th of November, that sounds like a great time to go, because I would imagine, I think I'm right in saying that as soon as December kicks in, that's when the prices really go up. So last day in November is probably better, but that sounds like a reasonable price, that does. Let's see, where did I go? This chat's jumping. Cats and Good Coffee. I had a nice dinner at a Filipino restaurant in my country as alternative to not being in Thailand. Okay, good. What about Filipino? What kind of food? It's chicken always seems to be on the menu, doesn't it? Barry from EastEnders. I really like that polo shirt. I've actually worn it in a couple of videos, and some of the videos went down well. Seems to be my lucky shirt. This. Were you ever like that as a young man? When you used to go for a night out with your mates at the weekend, and thought, you had certain shirts, and some were luckier than others. If you wore a white shirt, and you weren't having any luck with the ladies, you think, damn, it's because of this white shirt. But if you put your blue shirt on, and you cocked off on a regular basis, then your blue shirt was your lucky shirt. You know what I mean? I wonder, is this my lucky shirt? Barry from East End. Okay. Tom Streeter, if you get a VPN, you can set your location to another country, and the prices on websites can be cheaper. Okay, that's the good info there. Stuart Marsden, I took a punt and booked an Eva flight for December a couple of months ago. Glad I did, because I'm watching the prices creep up. I got mine for just under £1,000, now over 1150 flying Christmas Day. Well, that's probably flying Christmas Day. Well, that's a very that's a very peak time to be flying, isn't it? Really. Daniel Mills, maybe best to use one of the Saudi airlines who are state-owned, have access to limitless cheap fuel. I'm hearing quite good things. One thing about the Middle Eastern airlines is that they do, the Middle Eastern countries, they do bloody good airlines. They really, really do. And no matter overseas, I'm looking at one-way flights with intention of going for extending time. Even one-way flight to Manila in August, cheapest I could find with short stopover, was around €750. Well, that sounds very, very expensive. I'm not really sure. I mean, who actually goes to the Far East, Thailand, Thailand, Philippines, in months like July and August? I've never ever been in those times. I always go. I think I've spent just about every month of the year in those countries, other than June, July, and August. John K, what are you doing? I'm drinking a good old Kronenberg. Oh, I well stocked up. I've got enough alcohol there. If there's a nuclear war, don't worry. I'll be okay as long as the booze is concerned. In UK, I'd have been for 6 weeks in December. £760 return from MCO with Singapore Airlines. Not too bad. That sounds good, mate. That sounds bloody good. Sounds good. Devil's Den. Flights are only about £100 more. Don't understand these guys going on about astronomical prices. I paid $610 in 1980. Well, I mean, only, I must admit, I mean, flights are only about £100 more. I think they're a bit more than that, personally, the ones that I've seen. But there are some guys out there who do seem to be, exaggerating. I don't know where they're getting some of the figures from, because, like I say, when I glance, I can get a flight. In terms of what percentage more did I say than what it should be? Well, let's say it's about 35 or 40% more than what it would have been before the pandemic, which is not cheap, but it's doable. Up to me, flights from Scotland to Bangkok are shocking. From January, 1,100 quid. That sounds, because January is not really an expensive month. Well, it isn't from Heathrow Airport, because after December the prices really come down. Bottle Baby, prices are dropping. Cathay Pacific dropped 300 quid. That's a big drop. Santorini, a lot of people are getting Eva Air. Actually, I was looking at Eva Air as well. Santorini, 755 Ed. Eva from Heathrow, December the 1st. Sounds good to me. Sounds bloody good. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Here we go. Here we go. Just when it was getting good, it's going to get gooder. Lisa Dale. It's really, hello, Lisa, my darling. How are you? Now, what have you got to say for yourself, Lisa? Lisa Dale, it's really sad that there are so many people like you whose lives revolve around patire and sex tourism. Can't you go and do some good in the world instead of exploiting young girls for sex? Oh, my God. I think that is pretty. Well, no, I mean, not young girls, but you know what I mean. I mean, younger than you, and anyway, you're younger than you, Lisa. Can't you do some good instead of exploiting your young girls and say, well, I don't know, I'm a 25-year-old girl who's got to make a living somehow, and whether it's a dirty massage or whatever. So, Lisa, I wish you the very, very best of luck, Lisa. I hope that you follow in that old lady's footsteps. That woman who was 73 years old, who shacked up at a 21-year-old Tunisian waiter. Yeah, I wish you the best of luck. May you have plenty of Tunisian and Gambian and Turkish sausage, and may you wallow in it, yeah. And may your fanny ache forever. Okay. Delayed Dave. A nomad overseas. Arriving on a one-way ticket should be problematic with the visas, shouldn't it? Arriving on a one-way ticket would be problematic with the visa, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I've heard this for years about Thailand, and is that you have to have another, a return flight booked when you arrive there. They want to know what your return flight is. I've always had a return flight, but they've never asked for it. The airports have never asked for it, so a bit of a grey area, that one. Land Gun. Hi, Eddie. Vancouver to Phnom Penh, November to February, 1,000 Canadian. That sounds good. 640 quid. That sounds bloody good. Up to me. Get the lucky pants on for a Saturday night out. Okay. Pele, thumbs up for Eddy, folks. Okay, thank you. Bottle Baby, Devil's that I booked early May, 500 quid UK. A week later, it doubled. Pinball, did you ever wear a tank top back in the day, Ed? Do you mean a wife beater vest? Yeah, I did wear those vests. I mean, I know they're really grim and unsightly, but I did wear them until I was told off by when I started doing my YouTube channel. The number of people who said, ditch that bloody white beater, Ed. That's dreadful. Dreadful, that is. Danish bacon. Everyone used to have a Lucky Pullen shirt back in the day. Absolutely. Nomads overseas. I've not tried it, but apparently Philippines a popular dish of sweet version of pasta or carbonara. Sounds a bit dodgy. It does sound a bit dodgy there. Always me messes. Ed Sweeney's 20 Stone White back in England. I've always loved you in that polo shirt. It turns me on and makes me wet. Oh, okay, honey. I'll be with you later. Landon Gun. Hi, Eddie. Vancouverton on Pen. Oh, we've done that one. We've done that one, haven't we? Let me see now. Cats and good coffee. I'm willing to pay $1 million for Eddie's lucky shirt. Okay. Sounds like a bargain. Just for Ang, the prices creep up faster than the monger on the first day of arrival, going to soy 6 before even bringing the luggage to the hotel. Nicely said. Nomad overseas delayed, Dave. You need to have throwaway onward ticket if you're planning on staying for extended periods. You can stay in Philippines up to 3 years on tourist visa with extension. Do you know what? I kind of, because countries like Cambodia and the Philippines, it's actually been 2 to 3 years. It's getting over 3 years since I've been to those countries now. And I've kind of lost touch with rules and regulations. Thailand's the one, obviously, that I know a bit more about. Kipax, got mine for 521, booked in March to Thailand from Manchester. My mate is joining me. The same flight is 900 quid now. Oh, God almighty. Jesus, the same flight is 900 quid now. Well, the reason that when I seen it, I was very, very almost tempted to book it now. When I seen it earlier, so I know it's a bit expensive, but just get it out the way with. I'm not assuming that it's going to be any cheaper the lot longer than I'll leave it. But I've only just come back from my little travels. I've had plenty of travels this year, so it's time to just relax. But what is? I mean, I'm not actually working at the moment. I could go back to work, but I'm thinking of other things, but I don't want to slip into laziness or nothing. And the thing is, the reason that I was almost tempted to book a flight this evening is that it's nice to have something in the bag. It's nice to, it's nice to, just have it in the bag, and then you know what you've got to aim for. I feel more confident now than I did a couple of years ago, because during the pandemic, you couldn't really book things with confidence, because quite rightly so, flights were cancelling left, right, and centre. Whereas if I was to book something now for say November, I think a little bit of the old confidence would come back. I think there's a strong chance that flight would still be there, when it comes around. Up to me. Always go to Pattaya in June. Let me see now. Let me see. Oh, so we get a controversy there. Let's see. Anthony James, the 27-year-old African man with monkeypox, was in Pattaya 2 months ago. The 27-year-old African man. The 27-year-old African man with monkeypox was in Pattaya 2 months ago. Now he was caught in Cambodia. Oh my God! Well, I heard on GB News. They don't mince words on GB News, do they? There was somebody reporting on the monkeypox, and he said it's basically a certain type of person who's getting the monkeypox, and he didn't say it in any subtle way either. And I think GB News is a little bit ahead of some of the other channels. They kind of say what they mean. It looks that way to me anyway. Dutch Farang, if you can book me a direct flight from Amsterdam to Thailand for $1,000, I will pay you $500. Well, I'm sorry, but I can't do. There is actually the cheapest flight that I noticed when I was looking at flights from London to Bangkok was via Amsterdam. That was the cheapest. But what I like direct flights. You see, the problem with that flight going via Amsterdam is that there was a narrow stopover point in it. Not very long. I don't know what it was, an hour or something like that. And I don't like that because the number of bloody times that initial flight has been delayed, and then you end up running like a maniac through the airport, covered in sweat to try and get you. I want a direct flight. I want a direct flight, nothing else. She had a hairy muff. I do like the hairy stuff. These guys must be either making the flight prices up for attention or don't use websites like Skyscanner. Well, I must admit, I use Skyscanner. I mean, it's not good, but it's not disastrous either. That's all I can say. Okay, let's see. Anthony Chitchen. Hi, Ed. All ready to go. Okay, nice to hear from you, mate. And Nomad Overseas, I think it's the reincarnation of Mary Whitehouse. Oh, is that bloody Lisa? Yeah, Touch Farang. Lisa Dale's daughter gets exploded by Finnish. I'm not quite sure what that means, to be honest with you, but it sounds good. Danish Bacon. Lisa's booked for Turkey for the spot of Wongren. Okay. Farang travels. She's got a point at. What point is that, perhaps? Perhaps us men have got a point when we say that those women who go out to countries like Turkey and Gambia, maybe they're a bunch of dirty old trollops. Maybe we've got a point as well. Up to me. Lisa Dell, can I kick your back door? Okay, this is fun now, isn't it? This fun. Tom Easton, Lisa, there's travel to and not picking up an 18 stone like yourself, judging by your pick. Simon, Lisa Dale is a Shirley Valentine. I was not, but Shirley Valentine, she played with that bloody annoying actress. What was her name? Pauline Collins. Bernard Hill, who played Yosser Hughes. He did a good part in that film as the rather dull husband. But she Pauline Collins, she's one of those actresses that you either like or you find hard to take. And I found her a bit annoying. And she's not from Liverpool originally. She put on the most bloody annoying Scouse accent. I couldn't really watch it. Couldn't watch it. Let me see now. David Kidd and Fanny Egg Forever. Okay. Santorini, Lisa Dale, I can smell fish. Okay, here we go. Let's see, up to me. You can get a cheap flight to Cambodia, show customs in Bangkok. I'm fed up telling people about this, but that's actually what I had last time. But they didn't ask to see it, and it cancelled anyway. GWP, good evening, chat and Eddie. Hello, good evening. Richest Rich, hi Eddie, I haven't caught a live for ages. How was the diet going you were talking about after the Thailand trip? It's going bloody awful. While I was in Romania for a month, I think I did lose a couple of pounds because I was doing so much walking. And when I wake up in hotels, I don't always have breakfast. I'll probably have something to eat the night before. I don't always have breakfast, and I might just have coffee or whatever, and then hang on for my main meal of the day in the afternoon. But when I'm here now, I mean, it can get a bit when you're home all day. It's so easy to just bung the oven up or bung something in the microwave. I think I'm gaining weight again. Daniel Kelly, Eddie, Lisa Dale wants a date with you. I'm sure she does. Gaz, nice to hear from you, mate. Pinball. A tank top wasn't a vest. You wore it over the shirt. Oh, really? I didn't actually know that. I think it was the wife beater. Devil's Dan. London to Bangkok, 630 quid return. direct with Eva Air November the 2nd. And to the 16th, that's the same price. And to the 16th, that's the same price than pre-book. That sounds good. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Yours Travels. Hello, Eddie. Hello, Yours Travels. Hello, Eddie, buddy. How long has the live been on, guys? Been watching the UFC. It hasn't been that exciting. I mean, you know, we've had this 20-stone Wonga who's offered to sell her body to all of us fellas. But apart from that, you haven't missed anything. Daniel Mills, Ed, I've just checked flights for mid-January with Emirates from Birmingham for 3 weeks. Cheapest return flight is £1,000. Pre-COVID, I was paying 400 to 500 those days. Well, I went with Emirates last time, and the return ticket was 465 quid. So yeah, I mean, £1,000. Oh, that sounds ridiculous. That does. Emirates is the one, by the way, who's putting the foot down with Heathrow Airport. Heathrow is recommending that, you know, a lot of those flights, either companies, cancel their flights because Heathrow just can't cope with all the baggage and everything. And Emirates is one company that's saying, no, we're not going to cancel the flights. You know, I mean, you better get your act together. Let's see. Just for rank, and there we have it, 100% rise. Well, it's not 100%, but it's not what I see. It wasn't that bad, but you know, I haven't actually booked yet. Gaz77, okay, nice to hear from you, Gaz. I'll put his comment on the chat there so everyone can have a look at it, because he does watch the channel. Daniel Kelly, I'm flying to Bangkok December, first class. It's only 3,700 return. Good for you, mate. Good for you. You know, first class. You know, it's all right for some, mate. I wouldn't pay that much. I mean, I don't need to. I'm not 6'4". So I'm quite happy to snuggle into economy. Santorini, you only get monkeypox if you like pink into the brown action. Okay. Getting a bit smutty now. Big Cyril, if you don't have symptoms for monkeypox, still get tested, as you could be asymptomatic. Like it, mate. Like it. Very, very good. Just Farang, 50 hours flight. Let me see. Gaz77, I wonder if Susan Boyle was with. Okay, I'm sure she does. She was in the chat before, mate. She was looking for you. Yours Travels, not looking forward to London to Singapore direct. Not looking forward to London to Singapore direct. I don't know. I mean, that sounds all right. How long is it? Can't be more than 13 hours, can it? That's not that bad. Roy Gold, nice to hear from you, mate. Roy lives in Thailand. He lives in Jomtien. And he's very, very happy there. Roy Gold, just checked a flight London to Bangkok with Eva Direct on September 16 return. A month later for 623 on Skyscanner. That sounds reasonably enough. Thanks for your info. Level 2. I saw Scouse Brandy in Iceland. Really? That's one supermarket I never ever shop at. I actually have a bottle of that 3 Barrels brandy, which is nice, but it's not the most refined brandy. The Scouse brandy is better, but I haven't seen that for a very long time. Let me see. Bottle Baby, Canadians have a new flight starting in December by Air Canada, and it's a nightmare liner with direct flights to Bangkok. 16 and a half hours non-stop. Well, I hope it's bloody comfortable. I mean, yeah, you know, I think the most I've done is 30. You know, that's Scoot Airways from Bangkok to Gatwick. That was 13 hours. 16 and a half hours non-stop. Oh, well, I hope you got some good entertainment on board there. I really, really have. Anyway, Times are hard, you know what I mean? You've got to get every last drop out, haven't you? Okay, and tonight there's no plan here. It's a little bit of a quiet, just an only little, free for all. But I've got a little, a new little item to introduce to you. It'll be a little bit of fun. Don't forget, this channel is not essentially a travel channel. The other one that I do is this channel is a bit of travel, but it's also other things. We'll talk about other things, anything and anything that we think is going to be entertaining. So I've got a little item that I want to do later, which you might enjoy anyway. That's coming up later. And Nomad Overseas, unfortunately, it seems that monkeypox is picked up via close contact, no matter which sex. So you got to do these ACDC. Oh, that's rebel, that is. Touch Farang, Eddy has a touch screen. I was like, yeah, it's okay, pretty good. Pretty good. This Will Smith, okay, he eats to their own, mate. Roy goes, yeah, I know it's a bit amazing, man. Okay. Yours Travels, that's me. Yours used Gizzard Job. Boys in the Black, that was my generation. Liverpool was a sad, bloody time in the 1980s. A lot of people forget that. I mean, if you're already out of work, it was really, really dreadful. I mean, I went to rather than just do nothing, because there was just no work around. I went to college and I got qualifications, which I've never ever used, but it was a bit of a sad time. It was, Gizzard Job, Yozza use. The Boys in the Black stuff. I don't look at times like that through rose-tinted spectacles. Here's a good point. Dave Litch, June through August can be pleasant in Thailand. You take your chances on rainy episodes, but they don't depress you. Overall satisfaction. Cooler temps, cheaper rates. Okay, so it sounds good. I mean, like I said, I only came back from Thailand less than 3 months ago, so it's still fresh in my mind. But I am hearing reports now that the go-go bars are open, and they're open till 2 in the morning, and they're in full swing. The only downside is that there's not many customers around. I think they're all saying that. Even the bar owners, they're all saying there's not many customers there at the moment. But I don't know. I kind of wish it was there now, to be honest with you. Daniel Mills, I always book direct with the airline. Worth paying the extra in case any problems arise. Okay, thanks for that. And Nomad Overseas, Yours Travels. It's one of my favourite shows and plays. Still laugh at the headbangers, shake hands. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Shake hands, McCarthy. Judge Farang tries to go for an airline owned by a government. Is Thai Airways owned by a government? Santorini. Hey, I've treated myself to a few nights in the Banyan Tree. Is that a restaurant in somewhere in Thailand? I don't know that one. Roy goes, weather has been great in Pattaya recently. Well, good for you, mate. Roy is one of the most positive people who lives in Thailand. He decided there and he's made a bloody good job of it. So good for you, mate. Anyway, good for you. Gemini Star, even Eddy, you're looking quite smart with that polo shirt. The reason that I'm wearing this, by the way, is because all my other t-shirts, need washing. I still haven't actually done any laundry since I came back. I've only been back 3 days, so this was one of the only t-shirts available. I'm not going to put what Cats and Good Coffee is saying there, even though it's a good comment. Dutch Farang, most government airlines are safe, but check Thai Air. That's from Bottle Baby. DQ, I can't handle 20 stoners. They are slobs. Jesus, I'm not fair at 20 stone myself, to be honest with you. I can put on weight on so easy. I was doing well. I was feeling I was tightening up in the last couple of days since I had that Asda delivery. I've kind of treated myself to some nice big meals, and really it really does pile of weight on. Yours Travels, loads of cheap flights November and December. I got BA direct to Singapore, return for 250. Then Scoot returns Singapore to Bangkok, 100 quid. Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine last night who was going to Australia. later this year, and he's paid about 1,100 quid return from the UK to Australia, which still sounds very, very expensive, much more than what it should be. But he was surprised when I told him I got a direct flight back from Bangkok to Gatwick for 271 quid with Scoot Airways, and that included the baggage as well. Very, very basic, but there are still good bargains to be had. They're out there somewhere. A nomad overseas. I wonder what the rates of monkeypox are amongst the 20-stone bingo wings brigade. Well, even that phrase, bingo wings, that's a horrible phrase. That, oh, yuck, yuck. David Barnett, looking to book a flight to Thailand, 8th of December to 4th of January. Cheapest I can find is 790 Finnair. We've had this before. Some people rate Finnair quite highly, and others don't. Others people don't rate it at all. Andrew Owen, hi Ed, booked a 19-day break in Cambodia on Thai International in early September. 798 from London Heathrow. 14 days non-pen, 5 days in Kampot. Well, that sounds pretty good. Are you telling me, does that go direct to Cambodia? What is your route there? Do you not go via Bangkok? Sometimes I've flown to Cambodia via Beijing. And once they actually cancel that flight, they stop flying to Cambodia. So not really. I mean, that sounds more like a Bangkok price. That does. I'm not going to read that one. I'm not going to read that one out. Daniel Kelly, okay. Then I woke up reading the Beano. I think he's talking about his £3,700 return ticket, business class to Bangkok. I think he's talking about that. I don't think he really is spending that much. He's reading the Beano instead. Gemini Star. Airfare prices are outrageously expensive. I still think it'll smooth its way out sooner or later. Niall M. Book for late December, €720 from Dublin. For late December, that sounds like a reasonable price. Good for you. Jamie 296. Personally, I would rather save my money for the bars to pay thousands for the first class ticket. But he said, no, I'm the same way. I'm with you on that one, Jamie. I mean, I'd like to travel business class at a ridiculously expensive price. But at the end of the day, really, it's I'd rather spend my money in the bars. I mean, a flight is just getting there. It's not the holiday. It's not the travel. It's simply getting there, a way of getting there. And whether it's economy or whether it's business class, I just want to get the whole nasty ordeal over and done with personally. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yours travels 13 hours. Yes, Ed. Okay. Tom Easton, I'm going with Emirates this time. I went with Emirates, and I know it was during the pandemic time, but I thought it was a pretty good airline. Dutch Farang. How couldn't I find two-way direct Amsterdam, Bangkok, €1,000? Not sure what you mean there, mate. Will Smith, I'd love nothing more to bend Lisa over, whack my fella up her cave and finish on her back. You sick bugger, Will Smith. Okay, Jim Jets, good day, Ed. I tried booking for August, Australia to Bangkok. There is not many flights. Jetstar wants $3,000 Australian dollars for premium economy. Normally, I would pay 1,700. Is Jetstar? Isn't that Indian? I'm sure I've flown with Jetstar in Indian Airlines, or is that Jet Airways I'm thinking of? Well, that's not good. That's good. Let's just hope all the flights just smooth themselves out eventually. I think they will. I mean, things because we're in the aftermath of the pandemic right now, and it's a very very confused, very very awkward time right now. Very confused and very awkward time, and nobody knows what's happening or what's going to happen next, or if there's going to be another lockdown or anything really. But I think once the Antares is well and truly over, let's hope it will be. I think things will get back to normal, but it'll take time. I mean, I was seeing on the news today. I think it was MSN News. Because I think people traveling to France, it's beginning of school holidays now. People traveling to France, families, and having to wait 6 hours in a traffic queue to get on the ferry to go across to France. And who the hell wants to do that? It's awful. And there's always some doom and gloomer who thinks he's got a smart comment, who say this is the way of the future. We've got to get used. This is the way travel's going to be in the future. Anyone can say that. Anyone can make a prediction like that. It means nothing at the end of the day. Nobody really knows. You never know. In a couple of years' time, it might have all smoothed out. All the flight prices, all the travel chaos, everything might well have smoothed out, and it could be back to normal. We just don't know. We just don't know. John K. Either selling you a ticket and either actually running the flight are two different things. Well, nobody knows what's going to happen. We don't really know what's going to happen in terms of, the bogeyman might come back. But before the pandemic, I always found that Eva was one of the most reliable airlines that I know. It's a Taiwanese airline. It goes from London to Taipei via Bangkok. So Bangkok's the stopper, but it is direct from London to Bangkok. And I don't even remember when the flight was delayed. I always done well with Eva. I was quite happy to fly with them. David Argyle booked in April to fly out November the 11th with Thai Airways, 551 quid. That's good. That's good, isn't it? That's good. Dutch Farang, look at it, every drop from the camp. Well, times are hard, mate. Times are hard. The weight's not wanting it. Okay. Shaggy Rogers. How was your Asda delivery at? It went okay. I kind of like my Asda delivery because I have said, you kind of feel in control. You sit on your laptop and I'll have this, that, and the other. But it's kind of predictable. A couple of hours before it's delivered, you get an email saying, sorry, Mr. Sweeney, but there's 3 items on your list which we are unable to supply. So we've sent you some alternatives. What was one? What was it? I wanted frozen chicken wings, barbecued chicken wings, to bung in the freezer. Because I like that sort of thing. What did I get instead? A packet of chicken breast pieces, as a substitute. Oh, don't you just love Asda? Gemini Star, avoid Royal Jordanian Nightmare layover. I've flown with them, and they were all right, but yeah, try and get a direct flight if you can. Santorini, I've treated myself to a few nights in the Banyan Tree in Bangkok. 109 per, so that's a hotel then, is it? 109 per night, which is cheap with executive club access. I'm going to take my body weight in freebies. I'll drink to that, mate. Sounds good as long as you're happy with it. Let me see now. Kev, I always use Emirates, paying 900 return from Manchester in November for 4 weeks. Get 3-week hotel in Pattaya using some of their air miles. Well, that's 900 quid still expensive though, isn't it? But if you're happy with that. Michael Powell, hey, it's still in Phnom Penh, going Kampot Tuesday. Do you know, so I've never actually made it to Kampot personally. I love Cambodia. I'd love to see it again. Phnom Penh I got to know really, really well. I never went to Kampot simply because Chinookville was a good place to go in those days. But I think since the demise of Chinookville, since it's become a casino city by the sea, I think that's, Kampot has sprung up. I wouldn't mind trying Kampot. Yeah, Pele. Yeah, he wants to date with Lisa there. Good for you, mate. Anyway. Cats and good coffee. I'm putting my Superman and Batman pajamas on while I listen to it. Yeah, well, that's okay, but it's like feel comfortable, mate. It's late at night. I kind of like these late at night scenes. I prefer them through the week, because there's something about the weekdays. Monday, 10 o'clock of a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. I mean, what the hell else is going on there? It's nice to do a live scene then, but. On this channel here, I feel more relaxed on this one because it's not essentially a travel channel. We'll talk about other things. We've got a little item coming up soon. It won't go down well with everyone, but some people might like it. It's something to talk about anyway. Danish bacon. Michael Powers, the restaurant called the Rusty Keyhole, still there in Campot, by the river, does good ribs. Good. Well, that sounds good. Might just check that one out. Okay, we're not going to talk about. We're not going to. We're not going to talk about the controversy of other YouTubers doing live streams. We're not going to talk about that. Michael Powell, being Oscars again, 104. Band was crap, but loved it. I think the owner of Oscars, as I recall, I think he actually played in that band. And I used to love lovely beds. A bit of a dingy little bar, with a live band in there. But that's one of the old stalwarts of Non-Pen Riverside area. Oscars live band, lovely, lovely girls, and beautiful, beautiful girls there. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I used to love that place. DQ, I love the rain in Asia. It's cooler, fantastic lightning, thunder. It's better than blistering heat. Sometimes I must admit I did see some. I think Peter Thailand Bound. It showed it on his live stream. What was it? It was Bangkok, and it was or it was Pattaya, and it was floods, and the problem with when it floods is that sometimes you can get bloody rats coming to the surface, and you're knee deep in water. No, it looked absolutely dreadful. Dutch Farang, how many kilograms is 20 stones? Well, 20 stones is 280 pounds. So, don't know how many kilograms it is. Saturday, the Banyan Triad is a top 5-star hotel with great sky bar. Secret Escapes doing a deal. Okay, well, that sounds nice to know. Thanks for that. Who's this? She had the hairy muff. I do like the hairy stuff. You get so much more muff abroad if you wear that polo shirt rather than the skull t-shirt. I kind of like the skull t. I feel more comfortable in them. I haven't got any dress sense. I don't care really. Don't care what I look like as long as my stuff is clean. Anthony James, welcome back, Eddie. The monkeypox man was not wearing condoms with bar girls in Pattaya, said by Pattaya police. Oh, well, he was going bareback. That's not wise, is it? It's not wise at all. Royal Jordanian. Gemini Star, Royal Jordanian cheetah fly with the layover in Jordan Amman was over 60. That is dreadful. That is absolutely dreadful. I do recall when I went with Royal Jordanian. I went in the month of May many years ago, and it was great value. And they actually give you alcohol on board as well, including the price. I thought it was really, really good. But on the way back, there was a bit of a layover. You got taken to a hotel, and some people were complaining that it wasn't the most well organised. 16-hour delay. That's bloody awful. That is. John Paul, over 15,000 subs. Well done, Eddie. Which one are you talking about? This channel. This channel has got about, I don't know. I can't remember. It's not many subs. My other channel's got 42,000. Michael Gianneas, Booked Bangkok, 845 quid return from Edinburgh. 845 quid. Well, sounds reasonable. I don't know the script with Scottish Airlines. I really don't, because I always fly from Heathrow. I always assume that maybe Northern Airlines are going to be more expensive simply because they don't really they're not really as busy as somewhere like Heathrow. Shano Traveller, cheap airfare plus 3-star hotel, cashed up for the bars. Okay, fine, good for you, mate. Let's see. Gemini Star, Eva Airways is good. It is good. Up to me. Hopefully by the end of the year, the airlines will get more flights to Asia and the price will go back to a good price for the traveller. It sounds okay. Nobody knows. This is a very, very strange time that we're living in. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. We really don't. We can only just hope that it'll all sort out. David Argyle, steady Eddy. I booked in April to fly on November the 11th with Thai Airways, 551 quid. That sounds like a very reasonable price. Good for you. Okay, let's see. I'll try and catch up with the chats. I know I'm well behind. Yours Travels has plans to do his own maybe his own YouTube channel. I know he likes cruises and stuff. Good for him. Yours Travels. My 14 med cruise is 3 weeks off now, Ed. 14-day med cruise is 3 weeks off now. Once you taste the food on cruises, you will be addicted. I think you would love a Caribbean cruise. Not stopping until you booked on one. Well, good for you. I've never been on a cruise ship, but I've seen when they were parked on the south coast last year. Because of the pandemic. I looked out at them. Oh they look magnificent. I mean, the fact that man could build such amazing structures like that. Those cruise ships, they look absolutely amazing. I'd love to go on. I really would. I'm not sure it would go down well on my YouTube channel or what I'd do there. I always get the feeling that if I went on a cruise, I mean, I'd probably be accosted by an old biddy who's twice my age and twice my body weight. You never know. I might find a rich old lady on there. You never know. I'd like to give it a try anyway. Johnny B, I steady. How would you rate Romania out of 10? I wasn't convinced personally. Some great vlogs out there. All right, thanks for that, mate. Romania, it's a very, very pleasant place. It's not the ideal place for a single solo traveler. It's not perfect, but I still like doing stuff like that because it's different. You know what I mean? And I'd never been there before. I actually liked a lot of it. I mean, it's a very young crowd of people, but it's very, very civilized as well. I mean, people are well behaved in bars, but I think we've said this before. I think since Romania, it had a bit of a bad reputation many years ago, but since they went in the European Union, I think a lot of the hardcore riffraff have left Romania. They've thought, why hang around there and make less money when I can be making more money in, Paris or London. And similar with a lot of the hot ladies, you do see some beautiful Romanian girls out there, but they tend to be couples. They tend to be with fellas or they're married. So it's. I think a lot of the hot Romanian girls have left the country as well. But I liked it. A lot of good things. Those Transylvanian towns. Brasov and Sibiu, they were lovely. They were. I really enjoyed those places. I wouldn't. I don't know. Rate it out of 10. I mean, I don't really rate places in that way, but it's well worth a visit. Tom Young Guy, I would happily pay your high prices for a 13-hour or so flight. In November, I'll sit in airports and airplanes for 30 plus hours before I get onto the airport link. 30 plus. Oh, gee, that's dreadful. That's horrendous. That is absolutely horrendous. Santorini. Ed, the geezer at Flight Centre told me that Thai Airways still hadn't paid back monies from the pandemonium. Well, it's I don't know, very, very strange time, isn't it? Very precarious times that we're going through. You never know what's going to happen next. Tom Young Guy at $1,500 fair. Jesus Christ. Yeah, looks. Now we've got another problem coming now. Monkeypox. Oh, watch this space. Let's see how that develops. Michael Gireas, welcome back to Blighty Ed. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Ricky Richards, very good. Eva are usually the cheapest direct. Yeah, I do like Eva. I really, really do like Eva. Tom Young Guy, Central Time Zone, not near a big city. Cheaper from West Coast or NYC with many flights in and out. Okay. Tom Young Guy, I said in airports and airplanes. I think he's talking about the overall journey. Well, to be honest with you, where I live in the southwest of England, if I want to go to Bangkok, my journey can often be 30 hours. It can. If you had, whatever the times are, if you had all the coach journey to get into Heathrow Airport, and then, you've got to, I like to arrive with plenty of time. So it's hours waiting around at the airport. And then you've got the long flight. And then, that could be anything between 24 and 30 hours. I've done it. David Mayer, did you open the Lamb's Navy rum yet? Oh, you're giving me ideas. You're giving me ideas, mate. You're giving me ideas. Okay, so we'll skip through this chat now. We're coming to an hour, and then we'll have a little bit of fun. We'll have a little bit of fun and with a couple of items anyway. Like I said, this Steady Eddy Live channel. It's not a proper travel channel. We talk about other things, and it's just it's a bit of late night banter, late at night, and maybe sometimes of the day as well. Yours Travels, 900 quid, not expensive. You're getting free 7 nights hotel with the flight points. Brings the flight to about 700 quid return. That sounds good. Shane Traveller, I want to go as well. It might be later on in the year. Good for you, mate. Cats and Good Coffee. As the delivery service, sorry, Mr. Sweeney, we do not have Thai chicks, so we will send you Filipino chicks, okay? That's settled with that. Santorini, I've been told that Lisa's ass is like a barnacle-covered boulder, okay? Lisa's probably, with all this talk about it, she's probably standing naked in front of the mirror, doing vulgar things to herself while all this is going on. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Where are we in the chat now? Let me see now. And Nomad Overseas, not sure if condoms make any difference with the monkey. Oh, this is all horrible. So, then one's this skin to skin kind of conspiracy. It's not so. Oh no, I don't like that kind of talk. I don't like that kind of talk, I'm afraid. Tom Young Guy, very nice place there, not too crowded. I think, and same guy said, spend some good late afternoons in the side new balcony, sipping bourbon and smoking my pipe, watching the river scene. I think you're talking about Kampot. I've been through Kampot. I mean, a couple of places that I always held back from in Cambodia was Kep, a little seaside resort, and Kampot. And I went to Kep once, and really, I thought it was very, very dull. I should have chose Kampot instead, to be honest with you. Michael Gineas, Qatar flies from Edinburgh with one stop to Bangkok. Very good airline and much quieter than Heathrow, especially now. Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, let me see. Mark McCormick, evening Eddy, £646 Eva Air, 13 to the 30th of September. Fair price, much cheaper than prices to the Philippines. Although I find the flight to Manila 746, so not that much of a difference. Okay, and that's in September. Well, I hope it all goes well for you, mate. Bottle baby, like a Thai lady, cruise ships and the Thai ladies have a lot in common. Each treat you like a walking ATM. Oh my God, oh my, yeah, absolutely. Never trust women, never trust anyone. Up to me, I'd do a cruise around Southeast Asia, like Thailand and Vietnam. A cruise around Southeast, I'm not so sure that, well, I don't actually know what that would be all about. Because obviously, I've traveled overland in those countries many times, really. So I don't know. So I suppose it's not a bad suggestion. Let's see. Simon, Danish bacon. Yeah, camp hot pepper is great. Can't wait to get back later this year for the Ricky Butchers. Yeah, camp hot pepper. That's it seems a strange thing for the place to be known for. This town is known for pepper. I mean, pepper's just something you put on your bloody fish and chips, isn't it? But yeah, I have heard of camp hot pepper. What's this pinball? At Goods Hammer double. Goods Hammer Horror W. Let me say this. Am I pissed or something? Pinball Ed. Good Hammer Horror double movie bill on TV tomorrow. Valerie Leon in Blood for the Mummy's Tomb. Valerie Leon, she was that very, very tall model who was in the TV adverts for that aftershave high karate. And she used to always throw around, throw these little guys around. I wouldn't mind being thrown around by her. Gorgeous. And the Collinson twins in Twins of Evil. Do you know something? Twins of Evil made, I think, around about 1971. That is one of those old horror movies, Hammer horror movies, which still holds up well. As well as the gorgeous Collinson twins, you've also got Peter Cushing, and it's a good story. It's quite a scary movie. That one, still well worth a look. I don't know what TV channel that's on, but I've seen those movies many, many times. Shano Traveller. Qantas owes me an airfare return from Cambodia from May 2020. That's a long time ago, isn't it? Diane Abbott being vulgar. Ed, have you ever thought about getting on OnlyFans? I can't be the only one that would happily pay £10 a month to see you strip. No, wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Dutch Farang, this stream is sponsored by Ralph Lauren. Okay, thanks for that. Looks, Ed, what do you think about Boris's speech in Parliament? Hasta la vista. Yeah, he finished it with the. He finished it with the. But he finishes it with the Arnold Schwarzenegger line, didn't he? In a tournament, "Hasta la vista, baby." Okay, it didn't make me laugh. Each to their own, you know what I mean? Each to their own, but it didn't make me laugh. It didn't make me laugh, but I know Boris is Boris, isn't he? And do you know something? I mean, he's he's a bit of a buffoon, but I can't really see any of the others being any better. I mean, Ricky Washy or whatever his name is, and Liz Truss. She looks like a bloody wonga. I mean, I seen the other day. Video of it, and she says, "With me, what you see is what you get." Well, it looks to me like she looks like a bloody old wonga to me, to be honest with you. But I don't think either of them, Ricky Washy and Liz Truss, I don't know what either of them are all about. I mean, the thing about Ricky Washy, I don't think he'll go down well with the silent Conservative voters. If he's voted to become Prime Minister by the other Conservative politicians, that's one thing. But come a general election, what will the silent Conservative voters? They're the ones. They're the old people who don't always admit to voting Conservative, but they come out of nowhere on the day of election, and whereas Labour's been leading in the polls, all of a sudden the silent Conservative voters come out on the day and vote, and they win the election for the Conservatives. But will that be the case if Ricky Wishy-Washy is the lead? I'm not going to say any more than that, but I don't think so. Somehow, I think we might be for all his faults. I think Boris, they would have been better keeping hold of Boris, to be honest with you. Roy Gold. Campot is a great town to visit for a week or so. Some good bars, great restaurants, and beautiful Boca Mountain. I think that Campot has come up since the demise of Chinookville, since that place has gone downhill. I think a lot of the places in I could be wrong, but a lot of the people who used to go to Chinookville have now gone to Campot instead. I'd love to give it a try. I passed through there, but I never actually stopped off there. Michael Janaeus, up to me, Qatar, one-stop Doha to Bangkok, 17 hours. That sounds reasonably enough. Good for you. Johnny B, is it straight back to Pattaya now? Then there was a small break after that summer. I'm thinking more of a big adventure, a big adventure. I mean, I'm not so sure how long I'm going to be going abroad for this winter time, but it'll be a good, significant length of time. And I think I'll be doing what I've done in the past. Is maybe sporadically being in Pattaya, because Pattaya is a good jumping off point to go other places, because it's like Bangkok. Pattaya is also close to Bangkok Airport, Savannah Bhumi. So I'm looking at going to other places. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But I won't be staying in Pattaya for as long as I did last time. Having said that, I wouldn't mind doing something which I've never really done before in Pattaya. Maybe renting a condo for a month. I've never actually done that there before, so that'll be interesting. Faraway John, my neighbour says cruises sometimes have a lot of Thai people working on them. I think a lot of them have. Maybe he's confusing those with Filipinos. I think Filipinos tend to work on cruise ships. Yours travels. I'm Scouser, youngish and working class. Crews get a bad stigma. There's nothing like years ago. Just paid $899 for 14 nights solo on Britannia. That holds over 4,500 people. It's not stuck up. That sounds great. Good for you. I'd love to go on one, honestly. I mean, I don't know whether I'd like it or not, but I would love to give a cruise liner. I mean, those, when you see them, based out at sea. Oh, they look absolutely amazing. I'd love to just step foot on one of those and have a look around. I think I'd be quite excited about that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. David Mayer. The Twins of Evil had to be dubbed because their English was bad. That's probably not as unusual as you think. The Collins twins, they both appeared in Playboy, didn't they, all those years ago? And it's not as unusual. Did you know that Ursula Andress in the first James Bond movie, Dr. No, her voice was dubbed. That wasn't her voice. Her voice was dubbed because even though she looked amazing, I think she was Swiss German. I think she was Swiss German, and her accent, it just didn't sound right. So her voice was dubbed. Cats and good coffee. A polo was the best piece of clothing to wear. You didn't have to iron it, and you look more formal than wearing a t-shirt. Chicks love men with polos. Oh well, that's you tell me that the chicks are after my polos. They're after my mint with the hole. Is that what they're after? Oh well. Thanks for your info. Let's see. Danish bacon. It's like a radiator. Something. Okay, whatever. Gaz, I'm going to be Prime Minister soon. I'll make it law that people have to wear dirty knickers on their head when they go shopping. And which party are you going to be representing, Gaz? The Monster Raven Loony Party, presumably, yes? Gemini Star, no, I don't think we do. Dutch Farang, the Brits vote Brexit. Would you folks vote against moving to GB on the Thai Gulf so you don't get a visa and be part of the Thai Kingdom? Let me see. No, I'm not so sure that I would. Kev, try Royal Caribbean festivities. None of the others can compete with them. I know worked on them for 25 years in casino. Okay, that sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. Roy goes, anyone see Boris throw a grenade with a group of army lads on a training mission in full camouflage gear? Real boys own stuff. I would imagine that in another era, Boris may well be, a likable sort of person. He could well be a likable sort of person, but not really now. You know what I mean? I think he belongs in a. It's like one of those characters from a bloody Carry On movie. You know, I really think he's outdated. Will Smith, seriously, that polo shirt is sensational. Thank you. Ed Sweeney's 20-stone wife back in England. I rubbed my fanny on that polo shirt earlier. So if you smell fish, that's why. Okay, you dirty bitch. Okay. Yours travels. Ed, I think my 6-week trip to Thailand is going to be very good, and it'll be a rocket to the moon. Okay, good for you, mate. I don't blame you. Okay. Let me see. Bottle Baby. The polo shirt worn only on massage days only. Not necessarily, mate, but I'll tell you what. It's squeaky door time. I'll be back soon, and we'll have a little bit of fun. Oh. Okay, so I know that this isn't the most classy of stuff, but 3 barrels brandy. It's a litre bottle. I got it from Asda. What did I pay for it? I can't remember what I paid for it. Can't remember. It's a litre bottle anyway. It's about 20 quid, 19 quid, something like that. But it's not a bad brandy. So here we go. Nice little brandy on a Saturday night. I'm kind of wondering, you hear stories, don't you, about some of these billionaires. I've seen a documentary once where this billionaire was having a shot of brandy about that big, and it cost him £5,000. But apparently it was from an old Napoleonic brandy from 150 years ago or something like that. And I'm kind of wondering, how does that taste? Is that going to taste any better than this? His glass was worth, brandy was £5,000. This is probably not even worth a quid. It's tasty. It's not classy. It's not Courvoisier. It's not Hennessy. It's not even Scouser brandy. And it's not that lovely Jules Claret, which I like very, very much. What's the other one? Reverie. That's the one I was thinking of. Reverie from Lidl's. Lovely stuff there. This is 3 barrels, but it's nice. It's going down well. Oh. Okay. Paul UK, nice to hear from you, Paul UK. I made just be my winter getaway 4 months. A month in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. I'm similar. I'm thinking along the same lines. Good for you, mate. Good for you. That's what it's all about, mate. Good for you, mate. Nice to hear from you. David Halliday. Hiya. Did you see many couples? I don't think that's how you spell couples somehow. In Thailand, look for the ladies to join them on their holiday to spice things up. I would imagine, I can't personally identify them, but I would imagine a lot of that goes on. Kinky couples. Some couples, English couples who go to Thailand are probably very, very broad-minded, and the idea of pulling a nice, Thai chick and bringing her back to the hotel for a bit of a rumpy-pumpy threesome. I don't see any harm with that, as long as nobody gets harmed, as long as she's an adult and she's consenting. The Thai girl's an adult and consenting. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd like to be a fly on the wall. You know what I mean? Looking at all of that. Gemini Star, that polo shirt, Eddie, will get you laid in the land of smiles. It'll get me laid in the bloody social club, to be honest with you. But I don't want that. John Mitch, Eddie, would you fancy a 2-day trip to a FKK club in Dusseldorf, Germany, this coming October? I'll be your wingman. 2 days. It takes me 2 days to get me bearings when I travel anywhere. But I know what you mean. But one of these days, I might just investigate those places when the time's right. Sounds good for you, mate. Good for you. You sound like you're enjoying yourself anyway. Patriotist. Patriotist, never get a hangover. I had about 15 beers last night, and it wasn't good feeling in the morning. That is the one thing about that brandy. It's terrible for hangovers. Michael Janaeus, Eddie, those billionaires would know the difference they do because they want to show off. Nothing to do with the taste, mate. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you're a billionaire, I mean, how many bloody houses can you have? How many yachts can you have? You can only live in one house. You can only, sail one yacht. I mean, I don't think I'd like to be a billionaire. 500 million, maybe. Not a billionaire. Yours travels 100%. I'm definitely trying a couple of Thai ladies in one night. Okay. Anyway. It's time for a little teensy-weensy bit of fun. Remember, this channel is not essentially a travel channel, even though we've got a lot of travelers in the chat and all that, and we discuss those kind of things. But it's over 100 in the chat. We'll do something a little bit different. It might not go down well with everyone, but it's a little bit of fun anyway. It's a teensy-weensy bit of fun. Okay, so what can we call this one? No, not that one. Not that one. Okay, this is a new little item which you might like or you might hate. Okay, so basically, what it is, I was looking at all those classic news stories from many years ago, and we all like retro movies, Hammer House of Horror, stuff like that. A lot of people like 1980s movies, whatever, because we're so familiar with those things that we've grown up with them, we've seen them many times. But what about all of those classic news stories that you remember from years ago? The ones that I mean, nowadays you have scandals such as like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and all this kind of stuff. You have Meghan Markle and God knows what else. But that's not new. There's always been scandals. And I thought about a couple of news stories from many years ago, which are always on the TV, and quite often they make me laugh. And some of them still make me laugh to this day and age. I'd be interested to see how many of you would actually remember some of these ones. Okay, so the title of this is called. The title of this one is called Scandals, yes. There's been tons of scandals. I mean, like I say, you have a scandal at the Oscars. That's not new. They had scandals years ago. And some generally funny news stories from years ago. So I dug out a couple of them, and then I looked at more, and there's quite a lot of them. There's so many news stories from the past that make me laugh. They made me laugh then, and they still make me laugh even today. So I'm going to pick out a few, just a couple of them, for this one to see if we can have a bit of fun with it or not. Okay. So the first scandal that I'm going to pick up. Okay. I'm going to this. I wonder how many people actually remember this news story. Okay. Now, how many people actually remember this news story, right? This was a news story, in Britain that was in the news in the mid-70s, and it seems to be in the news for an awful long time. It was funny, and it was entertaining, and it was kind of weird, and the outcome of it was even funny. But I can remember this news story very, 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 very vividly. And really, even now, when somebody mentions the name of this news story, and we can identify this either with a sentence or the name of somebody who's synonymous with this story. Even now, when anyone mentions this news story to me, it still makes me laugh. It still makes me laugh. Okay, so go back to the mid-70s. Yeah, who remembers this news story? Who remembers this one? George Davis is innocent. Anyone remember that one? Anyone remember it? Let's see. Poppycorn, yes, Jess Yates is a sex scandal. Okay. So who remembers what this one was all about? It was in the news a hell of a lot in the mid-70s. And it's not just that, it went on for a good few years. Anyone remember this one, what it was all about? Let me see now. Poppycorn, nice to hear from you, Poppycorn. Yeah. Poppycorn remembers it. Yeah. Was that the one who dug up Headingley? Yeah, absolutely. Poppycorn's got it. Joe Hart taken down by the police caught red-handed. Yourself was only born in 1979. George Davis become one of the most well-known sentences on the news of that era. What it was, George Davis is innocent. George Davis was a man, I think he was a former taxi driver from the East End of London, who was put in prison, charged with it was an armed robbery. I can't remember what company it was, but he was put in prison. But his friends, the friends of George Davis, started protesting. It was unsafe. The conviction was unsafe, and they started campaigning to get him released. And Poppycorn there says, was that the one who dug up Headingley? Well, it was his friends who dug up Headingley. What it was, I can actually show you. I can actually show you that one here. I can actually show you that one, yeah. There you go. George Davis is innocent. They protested. It went on for a long time to get him out of prison. They dug up Headingley when England was playing Australia in the third Test match, and it caused a huge scandal. But not only that, they done other things. I think the same people. One of the blokes went naked in the middle of Hyde Park as a protest. But it was the line "George Davis is innocent." It just become like a catchphrase. It become like a catchphrase. Everyone sort of knew about it at that time, and it was really, really. Let's see. It was really, really, really funny. It actually caught on. If you remember that horrible punk rock band Sham 69, they actually done a song called "George Davis is Innocent." Not only that, it caught on with other celebrities as well. Roger Daltrey from that wonderful band The Who, the wonderful Roger Daltrey, actually went on stage wearing a T-shirt that said "George Davis is innocent." George Davis is innocent became, so popular. I seem to recall it even got on comedy shows. An episode of The Goodies, I don't know if you remember that, says there's a scene with Tim Brooke Taylor. Somebody hands him a letter, and he opens a letter, and he says, "Oh, I've just been given a letter. What does this say?" and he pulls it out and he opens it and he says, it says George Davis is innocent. Okay, no, what it is, yeah, Sam 69 wrote a song about that, yeah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, Pinball was he innocent? Well, the pressure of George Davis. I mean, there was slogans all over the place. You know, there was this was George Davis. He was in prison for robbery, okay, but his friends reckoned it was an unsafe conviction. And this is that's a picture of George Davis as well. Apparently, he was released owing to the pressure of these protesters, and he then went on living the high life. You know, he kind of become a little bit of a minor celebrity. He became a bit of a minor celebrity, and you know, he sort of lived a high life. But the fact is, was he innocent? I mean, this innocent man was eventually released from prison. His sentence was quashed, and then he lived happily ever after. Or did he? About 18 months after he was released from prison, he was caught red-handed doing another armed robbery. I mean, that's how innocent he was. But even to this day, whenever I hear George Davis, it just makes me laugh somehow. You know, it was one of those news stories in the 70s. I remember George Brown falling over drunk. So anyway, well done for Poppycorn for getting that one. George Davis, and I think he also done another armed robbery, ended up in prison again. And then he done another armed robbery in the 1980s and ended up in prison again. That's how innocent he was. But it was one of those. It was always in the news in the 1970s. It was anyway. So that's that one. Let's see. We'll do another scandal anyway here. And who remembers this one? Who remembers this? This is more Americans will remember this one. Who remembers this one? Of course, you remember that one. That was a lady who the president of the United States liked smoking cigars out of her womanly bits. Let's see. Where are we now? Where are we? Where's the comments? Yeah. Hey, now having a good night. It's okay. It's okay. It's a bit of fun anyway. It's a little bit of fun anyway. Monica Lewinsky. Yes, yeah, so I'll get a picture of Monica Lewinsky. Everyone knows this story. Not a bad looking girl. What I didn't know is that Monica Lewinsky. I mean, she at the time of that scandal when President Clinton was smoking cigars out of a fanny. And apparently she was only about 22 years old. Because she was born in 1973, and this occurred around about 1995. So she was only a young girl, really. Not a bad-looking girl either. But there she is with the President of the United States, that rather iffy character. Yeah. Yeah, that was the line that I was looking at. That was the line that I was looking for. Chas Brown. I did not have sex with that woman. And then later he went back on it. Indeed, I did have a relationship with that woman, which could be regarded as sexual. Yeah, okay. Bit of an effie character, Bill, but whatever. Like you say, I mean, the British, press, programs like Panorama said at the time that if he was a British Prime Minister, he would have been out of office by now. But so what? I mean, as far as I know, he was doing well for the economy. And so what if he was having a bit of rumpy-pumpy or smoking a cigar out of a fanny? So what's the harm in that? It's all a bit of fun, isn't it? Let's see. And Nomad Overseas. I'm still astonished that the Clinton Mafia didn't get whacked, especially considering their body count going back all the way to the. Okay, we won't go into that controversy. Gemini Star, Monica Lewinsky was on Eddy. She was from a middle class background. She was working. She was obviously a representative. She worked in some kind of role at the White House. But she was. I think it was Joan Collins who called trailer park trash. That's what she is. She wasn't. She come from quite a middle class, educated background. But I was really surprised to find how young she was then, because I was assumed she was in her mid-30s. She was only about 22 years old. Let's see. Shane O'Traveller, the famous cum stain on the blue, getting a bit vulgar there. Michael Chinez actually really screwed up. I don't know. She done all right after that. She went into all kinds of things, didn't she? She had her own business and everything. Singapore Dan, anything was better than having sex with his wife. Okay, Hillary. Oh, no, I wouldn't rate it either. Popcorn. Funny how things stick in your mind, but I can't remember what I did last week. Yeah, absolutely. I feel exactly the same way, really. I can't remember, news stories from last week, but I can remember them from the mid-1970s. And there were some classics. We'll talk about a few of the others. It's something to talk about. It's not it's not the most inspired of subject matters, but it's like classic movies. It's nice to talk about classic music, and there's some really, really funny ones. I thought that George Davis one, that still makes me laugh now, because it was the butt of all jokes at the time. And the funniest bit of it is that when he was finally released, 18 months later, he was banged up again for bloody armed robbery. Okay, so we'll remove that. Anyway, there I am back again, okay? So there you go. We had a little bit of fun there. It's all experimental stuff. We'll do a few other things on this live stream, to see what goes down well and what doesn't go down well. Let's see. A nomad overseas. Clinton got the banking regulation safeguards removed. Glass-Steagall Act. That in turn allowed the banks to go wild and lead to the 2008 crash. He's no hero. When did he finish in politics? When did he finish? When did he finish? When did he finish? He was like, was he from 92 to 19? No, it was in 92 to 2000 or something like that. I can't remember. Okay. So anyway, we've been on for an hour and 33 minutes tonight. Anyway, we had a little bit of fun. I think the main topic of conversation tonight has been the price of flights. Like I said, I was almost tempted to book one earlier. I might well book a flight this week. I don't like paying over the odds, but I'm just assuming that later on in the week it's going to be, it's going to, get later on in the year. It's going to get worse. Who's this? Singapore Dan. Casablanca is a great movie. I think that's great movie. I think it is a classic there, but I think it's not one of my favorites. Humphrey Bogart's. It's not really one of my favorite. I must admit. I love a lot of Humphrey Bogart movies, and I think he was absolutely amazing. That's not actually one of my favorites. Anyway, so let's see. I'm up to date with the chat anyway. So let's see. It's an hour and 34 minutes. I might finish just soon, unless we can, think of anything else that's a little bit inspired. Any comments that I've missed here? Who's that? Pages one. Best bank robber was Scott Skerlock. He robbed over 15 banks in Seattle in early 1990s. He used massive media to give him name Hollywood. He was obviously a bit of a showman, wasn't he? I've never heard of him personally. Peter Vaughan. Kelly's Heroes. Oh, I think it's worth mentioning Kelly's Heroes. It was Donald Sutherland's 87th birthday this week. Donald Sutherland, that wonderful, wonderful actor who he stole the show in a lot of films. Donald Sutherland never had the obvious star quality the way Clint Eastwood did or other actors. But he was in a lot of movies in the 60s and 70s and even to this present day. And I seem to recall when I went to the movies in the 70s, he was in a lot of movies. But in Kelly's Heroes, I think he really, really stole the show in that one. And Nomad Overseas, I think African Queen and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre were two amazing Bogart films. Absolutely amazing. The second one that you mentioned, Treasure of the Sierra Madre, the story of that movie is, you know, if you've never seen it before, take a look at it. You never know what's coming next. And the thing about Humphrey Bogart, he was very, very much the Robert De Niro of his day. He was, you know, he was that hard-edged actor. I thought he was brilliant, and he was also very fortunate to have been in so many great movies. Popcorn. Who were the Baader-Meinhof gang? They were in the news in the 70s, but no idea what they were all about. Were they the ones who kidnapped Patty Hearst? Was she the millionaire's daughter? And then they brainwashed her into committing crimes, didn't they? You know, committing bank robberies. I think that was the Baader-Meinhof gang. It's amazing how all these things come back to you. Well done, Popcorn, anyway, for reminding me of that. Nosferatu. Joe Hart, Nosferatu, Klaus Kinski, classic vampire. Do you know my favourite vampire movie of all time is Vampires in Venice with Klaus Kinski. I don't think it's the same movie. I don't think I've actually seen that one that you've mentioned. I've got to see it sometime. I've got to see it. But Vampires in Venice, absolutely wonderful. Singapore Dan, another, The Wild Geese. That was a wonderful movie, absolutely wonderful action movie. Roger Moore, Richard Harris, Richard Burton, cracking cast, excellent cast, wonderful movie. Let's see. Joe Hart, no, that was the SLA. Okay, these some young guys is saying it was the Symbionese Liberation Army. Yeah, that was interesting. That wasn't it? I mean, that was another one that was in the news around about the same time, the mid-70s. She got kidnapped and they brainwashed her. Next thing you know, she's doing bank robberies. Pinball, Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat on stage. I think it's those would be plastic. Jesus Christ. He might have been if it was biting the head off bats, he might have been one that he spread the antivirus originally. A nomad overseas. I mentioned it before, make sure to watch a film called The Emperor of the North Pole. Lee Marvin as a hobo in Depression era, and Ernest Borgnine as the most evil train conductor ever. Okay, sounds great. They were wonderful actors. They were wonderful. Yeah, Bottle Baby, Paddy Hearst. No, it wasn't. No, not Paddy. It was Patty Hearst. Okay, pinball. So listen, I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. I'm going to wrap this one up pretty soon anyway. It's been a nice little live stream. Obviously, you know, the other channel, the other main channel is mainly for travel. We've talked mainly about travel on this. But with regards to travel, it's a bit of a quiet moment at night. I mean, there's not, at this moment in time, there's not really a great deal to talk about other than, you know, the rise in flight. I mean, I think the consensus is that places like Pattaya, even though they've, you know, it's all up and running now, it's very, very quiet right now. But like I say, I mean, a lot of people are booking flights for later this year, and I'm hoping to join you very, 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 very soon. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up now anyway. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I'm going to say thanks for your company, guys. Have a lovely evening. I'll probably be back very, very soon, probably Monday evening at 10 o'clock UK time. Have a lovely evening, and I'll catch you soon, okay? Have a nice weekend, guys. Cheers.